COVID-19 has seen many around the world isolated by lockdowns and separated from family, friends, community and loved ones. I believe in the months and years to come, the true psychological, emotional, mental and spiritual impact will come to light. However, even in these times, all is not negative. For some, it has given them the opportunity to study, grow and reflect spiritually, as well as get closer to our Heavenly Father, something I believe is and was His divine purpose throughout the pandemic. The quote, "I can do all things through Him who strengthens me," is hung in many homes and often quoted by the righteous and the religious. However, I wonder how many could tell you the author of the words. He has been called a misogynist, a hater of the Jews, a traitor, and in modern parlance would be termed anti-Semitic. But to Christians and followers of Yahweh, he is one of the greatest gospel writers and evangelists of all time. His name, Brother Apostle Paul. A man, we are told, of small stature, he stands head and shoulders with the greatest evangelist of the era, and stretching down from before Yahweh to the modern day. Those who have taken the time to study Paul will appreciate the gospel legacy he has left to us over a period of nearly 2,000 years. And these contained in the letters to the Philippians, Ephesians, Colossians, Philemon, and 2 Timothy, all of which were written at one time or another while he was in prison or under house arrest, bound in chains that physically limited his capacity to move even around his dwelling. In fact, of his 32 years Hebrew Christian ministry, Paul spent a total of 2 years on 2 occasions imprisoned and mainly abandoned by friends and other so-called evangelists of his day, before finally being rearrested and beheaded in Rome. In spite of being locked up and locked in, Paul found time to evangelize by writing letters to encourage, teach, correct, and admonish the early assembly of the faithful. Never do you find him complaining, bitter, or displaying self-pity. It is even more inspiring when you remember this was a man 3 times shipwrecked at sea, beaten with rods until it is said he had a permanent limp for the rest of his life, stoned to the point of death, slandered and forced out of many cities for the sake of the gospel. And what did this produce from Paul? It produced the following verses. "I take pleasure in infirmities, in reproaches, in necessities, in persecutions, in distresses, for Christ's sake. For when I am weak, then I am strong." 2 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 10. "I thank Yahweh upon every remembrance of you." Philippians 1, verse 3. "I know both how to be abased and I know how to abound. Everywhere and in all things I am instructed both to be full and to be hungry, both to abound and to suffer need." Philippians chapter 4, verse 12. "In everything give thanks, for this is the will of Yah in Messiah concerning you." 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 18. No worrying about a lost vacation, a night out, or missing your favorite restaurant, going to the pub, or getting to church then. Instead, we find him looking forward to an incorruptible reward. As he says, "For which cause I suffer also these things. Nevertheless, I am not ashamed, for I know whom I have believed, and am persuaded that he is able to keep that which I have committed, or given, unto him against that day, i.e. redemption." 2 Timothy chapter 1, verse 12. So I personally feel I owe a lot to my brother Paul. So the next time you read his gospel, the poignancy of "For this cause I, Paul, the prisoner of Yahweh, Messiah, for you Gentiles," echoed in Philemon chapter 1, verse 1, should now ring with literal and not only figurative meaning.